Is the concept leading with the edge of the racket and misunderstanding this correctly, secretly preventing you from getting into a good racket drop and ultimately robbing you of fluidity and power on your serve? Now, a lot of people think when you lead with the edge of the racket on the serve that the racket edge points straight up. However, this might be preventing them from properly supinating and coiling the arm to get into an optimal racket drop position. So what happens is when players think that the racket edge points straight up, in order to actually do this, you have to pronate earlier. And this will prevent you from properly supinating to really optimize your racket drop position. Now in this first step, we're going to work on throwing and how it relates to the serve. So the first thing, we want to understand what our shoulder is doing, or what our arm is doing. So you want to get into a nice serving stance. If you just hold your arm, your hitting arm, straight to the side and just rotate your thumb back and forward and feel how the rotation originates in the shoulder. So do this right now at home. When your thumb rotates forward, that's your internal rotation. It's what you're doing as you swing up to contact and why we see the strings point out to the side during the follow through. And then if we rotate the thumb backwards, that's your external shoulder rotation. That's your racket drop position. Now, if you bend your elbow and now you do the same thing, rotate your thumb back and forward. Back is supination, originating from the forearm. That's your racket drop. Forward is your pronation, what you're doing up to contact. You can do that over and over. Studies show that when you swing up from your racket drop into this position here, your internal rotation accounts for about 40% of your serve power. So it's important that we really work on coiling the arm and doing it safely. So once you've done that, you got the idea of how the arm works. I want you to now get into what I call a telephone position, like you're talking on the telephone, but try to have your knuckles pointing slightly upwards. Now, the thumb is pointing back, and what you're going to do is you're going to get your weight to the front foot. You're going to extend the arm, or the elbow, like a karate chop, and then you're going to think of high-fiving the tennis ball. And when you do that, you want to feel how it's the shoulder and the forearm what rotates up to do this. It's called long axis rotation. Now the ball is gone, and you continue to rotate where the thumb is pointing down, and the palm will be pointing the side fence. This is what the racket face will be doing. So you want to do this over and over. So you're going to get into this telephone position, okay? Have the knuckles pointing slightly up. Try to have a neutral wrist position. Thumb is down, okay? Feel like your weight goes onto the transfers to the front foot. Extend the arm, rotate to high five the ball, and then you want to continue to rotate where the thumb is pointing down. I like to let the elbow bend at the end just to protect the shoulder. So you want to do that over and over. Then you can add the tennis ball to that. Okay, so you want to be in your telephone position here. I like to have the weight in the front leg because usually when you're in your racket drop, your body's fully extended for those of you who are jumping out of the air, or your weight's in the front foot if you're not jumping. Now from here, you're going to extend the arm, so thumb is down, extend the arm, finish thumb down. Okay, ball in hand here, get the weight towards the front foot, you extend and then rotate. So it's thumb down, I extend, rotate, thumb down. Right, so let's see it again. So your thumb is down, knuckles slightly up. I'm in a neutral wrist, I'm not like this. Okay, extend, rotate, thumb down. The hand keeps going along this plane. Sometimes what happens, I see players do this and they throw the hand out to the side. You want to keep it going in the same direction. That's how you build momentum, inertia, and ultimately speed. So starting here, thumb down, extend, rotate, thumb down. Now, the next step is you're going to hold the ball in this position here, where if you look from the side, that ball is between the ear and the elbow, and it's starting to point over the biceps. So my palm is down right here, okay? And you want to have your weight towards the back foot. So as you bend the elbow and transfer your weight, you then get into that telephone position where the thumb is pointing down, the knuckles are pointing slightly up. So you can do a couple of shadow swings like this. So I'm on the back foot, and then I transfer to the front foot. Notice how the elbow is up, and my body's extended. So we'll do this over and over. Then you can begin to throw. So you're starting here, you bend the elbow, you transfer the weight to the front foot, You extend and then rotate. See it again, here. So I bend the elbow, my thumb is down, my thumb is down. So that's how you can work on throwing as it applies to the serve. Now a lot of people do this incorrectly. They get to this position and they do this. When you do this, this is going to cause the shoulder to tighten. You're going to lose range of motion. Try to keep, we call that cobra position, bend in the front of the wrist, where you're bending the elbow this way, all right? So I'm throwing. Initially, don't worry about how far you're throwing it, just focus on the mechanics of it.